Hey guys, welcome back to the Caucus Challenge After Show, where we recap each episode, dive deeper behind the scenes, and interview the cast. I'm your host Felicity, and joining us tonight are CT, Mr. Chocolate Thunder.
Yes, check the motherfucking weather.
We have Kevin, everyone's favorite ally. We have Clay, last season's underdog. We have Michaela, Mrs. I'm here for all the smoke. And we have Kristen, this episode's decision maker. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. In this episode, Blindsides and Backstabbers, the first challenge, Ringleaders, where loyalties are tested and the players find out where they truly stand in their alliances. Michaela, you started off the daily challenge with a little girl circle where you stated that there would be no hard feelings. Did you think that Kirsten was going to get you out?
I didn't think she was gonna get me out, but I think you always have to stay 10 toes down in this game. So
Who did you think was initially going to be gunning for you, if anyone, out of the girls?
I mean, definitely Jay for sure. I mean, I've said her name so many times at this point, so I figured she would be gunning for me. And I don't know, I didn't really put anything past Camilla and Malin either at this point. Again, like, you just have to do what you have to do in this game, so I didn't really, like, expect any loyalty from them.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, Kristen, why did you throw your kill at Michaela, thereby getting her out in this daily challenge?
Honestly, I really don't know. I think my mindset was just more of like who has the most X's. I think like I don't think it was anything personal. I didn't have an issue with Michaela. I think it was just more of like, okay, well, she had two. Let me just throw the third and then keep going and just see who I'm gonna get out next. It wasn't like.
So did you have the same understanding that Michaela had when that you guys were aligned?
Honestly, no. And I say no because, like, yeah, me and Michaela have talked, but not specifically about like a solid like alliance. I was working with Amanda. I was working with Malin. Malin was actually my number one going into this challenge specifically. So I really wasn't thinking anything too much into it.
So, I mean, Michaela, do you have anything to say?
No, I agree with Kristen. I said unspoken alliance only because, like, yeah, we never, like, we're like, yeah, we're gonna have each other's back. Like, yeah, we're working together. There was none of that ever. It was more so like she was working with Amanda. I thought that they were, like, super aligned, and then me and Amanda were super aligned. So I kind of figured it was like, you know, we're kind of each other's mutual numbers.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of where my mindset was. And because Kristen and Amanda were aligned and Amanda and I were aligned, I figured that, you know, we would just try to keep it in that circle. But I didn't know that she was aligned with Malin. I didn't know that was her number one. So I get it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, moving on to the boys' heat. Kevin, what was your strategy in getting CT out? I know, I came in hot.
I forgot I was on mute. So, there wasn't much strategy besides the fact that I heard information about him and I couldn't really trust if the information was true or not. And in the game, I saw Jalen coming for me. So when I got him out, I was hearing the other scores. CT was the only one that had none. And in my head, I'm thinking, if I don't trust you and I want to win, same thing Kristen said, you're just throwing them. You're just throwing the kills. That's it. It's part of the game. It's just a strategy. You're trying to win. And if I didn't trust him in that moment, of course, let Oscar win. Let Clay win because I can trust them winning. But I don't know Jalen. I don't know about Jay West. I don't know about CT. And I don't know about Ozzy. So it wasn't anything malicious. You heard me when I say it, like, I love you, CT, like, because I had love for CT. But that was just my strategy in that moment.
So, did you know that Jalen was trying to drive a wedge between you guys? Because at this point, you guys were aligned, right?
Me and CT, right?
Yeah.
Yes. We were absolutely aligned. And maybe Jalen did just get me. Maybe it wasn't all the way true, and maybe he bended the truth a little bit. But in the end of the day, that was his decision. So get mad at him for telling that lie. You know, like I trusted the lie, and maybe I should have trusted my number one. But in reality, you've lied to me in the past. Why wouldn't you do it again? You know, and in that point in the game, you hadn't given me anything.
Wait,
Like,
what did I lie about?
we had this conversation. You lied to me about Janice, and you made me turn on my own partner last season.
Wait, how did I make? And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just trying to clarify since we're going back. I didn't make you do anything. You're the one who voted in your partner.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, but who brewed?
Okay.
So, I have a question.
But you said that she chose me only to have numbers, and I didn't like that.
And that was round 2, Kevin.
But that was a lie that you insinuated. So at the end of the day, if you lied to me before, why wouldn't you lie to me again? And in that part of the game, that point, you haven't provided me anything. You weren't winning anything to show me that you were going to be safe or keep me safe. Like, I was barely playing because I got the first relic. So, like, nobody really showed me anything. So I didn't owe anybody anything at that point in the game, whether I talked to you in the beginning or not. In that point, if I heard you saying my name in the hotel, why would you ever say your number one's name in a hotel where people can do that dirty work for you? I did that to CT. I never did that to CT. So you do that to me. So at that point in that game, the ring toss, it just wasn't making sense to me. None of it.
So what did you hear exactly? Because I don't think it was very clear to the viewers on the show.
Basically, Jalen just told me, I wish he was here, or maybe CT if he wants to say who was in the room. I don't know who was in the room, but CT.
Nobody was in the room. It was just me and Jalen. And basically, me and Jalen were talking. Jalen wanted to get Kevin out. And as I'm trying to get all the tea I can in the game. Am I going to get Kevin out? No. And I've never showed or put that idea that I would. He can say I told that little lie. But you, at the end of the day, you voted in your own partner. But it was basically just a game plan to get Kevin out. And I was just telling Jalen exactly what I want to hear, what he wanted to hear. And what's funny is if it came down to your number one enemy and your number one ally on who to trust, it's just funny that you chose your number one enemy instead of your number one ally who, yeah, I wasn't winning those dailies, but I also wasn't targeting you. I wasn't plotting against you. I wasn't trying to get the numbers to get you in.
Well, like I said, going based off the lie that I was told, apparently it wasn't all the way true.
No, not apparently. You were delusional.
It's not delusional. I conjured up maybe something in my head that maybe he is saying my name to other people outside of the game where that doesn't really make sense. And why to the one person that we're both trying to get out from the beginning, not going up to Jalen saying, how are we going to get CT out? Like, that doesn't make sense, just to go along with something that you're Jalen, because I'm pretty sure at that moment he didn't even know that you were trying to target him. If that was
He did. Jalen has been known that I was trying to target him, and that's my thing. I'm a cutthroat, straight to the point type of player. You're gonna know if I'm targeting you. Maybe not at first, but you're gonna know. And Jalen knew. He's been known since episode 2 or 3. He's been known that me and you were wait 1 second. He's been known that me and you were coming for him. So the fact that the person that you've constantly been targeting throughout this entire game, you sent him into 2 eliminations. You did that because you had the power to do that. For you to believe him, the person you're trying to get out the game, versus the person who has been working with you, pre-gaming, telling lies to people like Amanda just to cover up our asses on trying to get Jalen out. What makes you think, like, you keep saying I didn't show you anything but loyalty. So for you to sit here and be like, hey, maybe it got in my head, and that's bullshit.
I feel like from both perspectives, I think we're calling upon old gameplay from, and I feel like that caused trust issues from like last season.
I didn't manipulate anybody last season. I picked my side. I didn't lie to anybody. I told Mike, I'm coming for you. I told JT, I'm coming for you. And if they were mad because I'm coming for them, that's them. But at the end of the day, I did what I needed to do. I didn't lie. I even argued with my partner in front of everybody. But you are the person, Kevin, who voted in your partner. And now you're just trying to make excuses to make yourself look good. But at the end of the day, you did the work. Take accountability for it.
I can take accountability. I could say that maybe it was the wrong play at the time because it wasn't all the way true. But at the end of the day, that was what was going through my head, and it didn't not work out for me at the end of the day. Like I said, I was also okay with Clay or Oscar winning. And I didn't know why you were going to get that upset at me when Jalen was the one that lied on you, which
I
persuaded.
don't give a fuck about what Jalen said, though. I'm trying to get Jalen out. At the end of the day, I didn't trust Jalen. I trusted you.
Okay,
that's why I got mad.
You still didn't even vote him in for deliberation, you know?
Because you had screwed me over. I'm not working with you anymore after you just had fucked me over. Here's my thing. It's not even the fact that you got me out. I'm not pressed about that. It's the fact that you got me out, and the person you decided to hand the win to was Clay, the person who's been vocally, consistently talking about he wants CT. He wants CT. CT, CT, CT.
Okay, but pause, because that's another narrative that I'm not understanding, because nowhere did me throwing votes on you mean that Clay was automatically going to win. I could have voted Clay for the next person, but it's not my fault.
And that's what you should have done, because I wasn't scoring any points.
It's not my fault that Ozzy went out after you and Oscar went out after him. It's not my fault that it went down that way. If anyone else scored and put other points on me or Clay, we would have been out the game. That's just not how it happened. I didn't just protect Clay. If anything, I would have wanted.
You had Clay do your dirty work. You wanted me out, so you had Clay win.
Not at all.
Oh yeah. So he could be the person who votes me in, because you wanted so bad to work with Clay and Oscar. You even said that in the episode.
I would own up to that kind of a move, but I guarantee you even saw it after.
Probably wouldn't.
Kristen asked me, did I make a mistake? I told her I was shocked because she never told me that. I was never conjuring that in my brain. Like, we need to get CT out. Even after you were trying to say my name, I was just like, he's just angry at me.
Oh my God. I didn't try to say your name until after you did what you did. You keep saying even
personal. I wasn't taking it personal because I knew you were just upset at me in that moment, and I was okay with it. But I wasn't going to be like, no, fuck this. We're voting in CT because he's mad at me right now. Like, that wasn't my game plan.
I don't care.
Okay.
You didn't need to do that.
Next question.
You had Clay to do it for you.
Sure, if that's what you want to believe.
So, Clay, how do you feel knowing now that you're not just going to be written off this season as compared to previous seasons of the Caucus Challenge?
It's a different feeling. I think, like, going into the season and knowing that people don't like you, going to the season not knowing anybody, like those kind of seasons that I had before, and then going to this season, like, it's a way different game. Mm-hmm. Going to the season, like, knowing that you have people to work with and that you actually, like, can trust some people is, like, a completely different feeling. So going to the season was definitely, like, a easier feeling. The season felt really easy to me, like, getting to where, we're at now, like, it's super easy. Like, I haven't had to do anything. I've just been there and made it this far. Like, whereas other seasons I had to fight round after round after round to even survive. So, really, like, getting some type of social game and getting that far, like, it's really important and can make your game a lot easier.
Is that your strategy this season?
This season, yeah, it was just kind of assessing, like, okay, I actually have people, so I don't have to come in here and, like, try to hurt everybody or try to, go all out. Like, if someone else wins, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going in. So I think it took me a little bit to realize that going in, just because I was so used to the other type of seasons that I've had before. Right. But once I kind of started figuring out, it was like once I got that social relic, I was like, oh, this is a different game. This is not the game that I played before or the time before that. This game is completely different for me. So I think it's just, like, you have to step back and really, like, assess what kind of game you're playing and what kind of game you need to play for that season.
Gotcha. And then this is kind of a silly question, but were you and Kevin aligned at any point during this daily challenge, or was it
sorry.
circumstance? No, go ahead.
Before this, we actually really weren't. Like, I mean, me and Kevin we never had beef. We never had problems really. But we also never worked together. Last season before that, he was a rookie going after kind of people that were not rookies. I was kind of in the middle point of that because I wasn't close to the champs, but I wasn't close to the rookies. So I was kind of in the middle area. Me and Kevin have never really had beef, but this competition, why we worked together was because we had a little meeting with Jalen and we talked about who we wanted to go. And then as Kevin walked away, Jalen said, I don't trust him. I want him out. Jalen's someone I work with, but I knew at that point that's something I could use. So as we're at the starting line, I look to Kevin and I say, you can't trust him. He's coming for you. Literally all I said. As I said that, we started working together for that challenge. Before that, I had not talked to Kevin. Don't have a relationship with Kevin really at all, but we just worked together for that challenge.
Oscar told me that. That's why I felt more trust with them winning, because they were able to tell me that, because it ended up being true. Jalen gave me the second point of the round, you know?
I had no idea that happened. Okay. And CT, anyone watching could tell that you were visibly pissed that Kevin got you out. But other players were trying to reassure you that Kristen would never let Clay throw you in. What was going through your head at this time?
It might have not been shown as much in the episode, but I always had faith that Kristen won the daily. I was happy. I always had faith in her. It wasn't, but also at the same time, it wasn't about Kristen. Because at the end of the day, I would run a final with all of the girls there. And I know Kristen's going to do what needs to be done to be one of those spots. So I wasn't, I was more so worried about, okay, Clay just won this. I know my name's going to be thrown in. Will Kristen throw herself into elimination? Will she be willing to throw the tie? Those were all questions in my head. But Kristen winning, I didn't think, oh, Kristen's going to be out to get me now. But also, I knew that Kristen and Clay were close, though. And even when Kristen gave her the relic, I sent her a text. I was like, Clay's coming for me. Like, why are you giving him relics? Like, he's going to try to get me out. But, at the end of the day, like, as Kristen plays her game, I play my game. And most of the time, we're on the same page. But when we're not, at the end of the day, we're just not. And it is what it is. She's going to do what's best for her, just like I'm going to do what's best for me. But no, I was genuinely happy that Kristen won. I think that was her second daily win of the season. So she's picking up where she left off from last season. So I was happy.
And on that note, congratulations to Clay and Kristen for winning a daily challenge.
Thank you.
So moving into this episode's deliberation, we know that there are people who wanted to throw Jay West or Ozzy in for the boys and Jay for the girls as the house vote. We saw Clay and Kristen throw in CT and Michaela for the elimination to go against Jay West and Jay. Kevin, how did you feel hearing your name thrown around during deliberation because you were perceived as being a snake?
Honestly, at that point, I didn't care who didn't understand my game or who did understand my game. Like, you don't need to understand, so like it makes sense to me. But the people that said my name was just, and I think Jalen maybe spoke about it too. And I was gonna say Jalen, and I forget to mention that it was supposed to be a throwaway vote because I knew nobody was for Jalen. But I say that, and Jalen just goes off. He's like, "Well, we're voting in Kevin because this." I was like, "Oh shit." Now it's gonna come close for this one for sure, and then Ozzy spoke up about it, CT spoke up about it, and I was like, damn, everybody's fucking mad at me right now, like really might end up happening, but over something that I'm like, yo, you guys just don't understand the game. Like, you're trying to win, just strategize, and you shouldn't take it personal as you're taking it, because I would have said people's name for elimination. I was gonna go with the two people that I've said literally 15 times already, Jay and Jalen, just to throw them out there. If they went in, they went in. But I was saying the same names. I'm a straightforward player. So I wasn't one dirty in the sense of, well, yeah, I did you the challenge, whether it be an accident or not. Now I'm going to throw your ass in. Number one. I was going to stick with my votes. But as soon as everybody was like Jay West, Jay West, Jay West, I knew I had to switch it to Jay West because that was the only way I was going to get out of that elimination.
So do you think that after he had said your name, it was immediately people started gunning for you?
I think that started to light a switch in a couple people's brain where they're like, yo, this is Kevin's first opportunity to get thrown in. Been winning shit. Like you keep hearing, you know, everybody either wants to knock me or my numbers. So let's throw them in, you know? And I was worried. I was like, they might do it, you know? And I thought it was going to be the one that solidified my ass because he said her name several times, but she decided to play her own game, which I respect. And I love her for that. And hopefully from here on out, I don't have to say their names ever again.
And Michaela, can you tell us a little bit more about Kristen pulling you aside and saying that she was going to throw in Camilla?
I mean, it was exactly that. We had our little time to deliberate, and Kristen came up to me and said, for girls, we're throwing in Camilla. It's just, I feel like my best option and whatever, the whole spiel. And so in that moment, it did make me feel safe because I knew that we were going to vote Jay back in. Like, we had already gunned for her at this point so much that, like, we kind of just had to follow through and keep going until we got what we wanted. So I knew that that was going to happen. And so I wasn't really expecting to go into elimination this round, but it kind of makes sense now. Like, if Kristen was aligned with Malin and that was her number one, I get why she threw 2 X's on me and got me out before, like, getting Jay out, who already had 2 X's. She just needed 1. Like, if she would have put 1 on Jay, got her out, another 1 on me, fine. But I got both of them. And then if she really is aligned with Malin, I just don't see her throwing in Camilla because I think that they were working closely throughout the whole game. So at the end of the day, I don't know, it was just a shock to me because I did, like I said, feel very safe after hearing that the power team's vote was going to be Camilla. It kind of, like, I let my guard down in that moment and shit went left after that.
Gotcha. Kristen, do you have anything to say?
I do. So again, like as I said, because I was aligned with Amanda, I didn't mean that I was aligned with Michaela. Same way, being aligned with Malin didn't mean that I was aligned with Camilla. So that whole thing that was just said was not in fact true. I was supposed to say Camilla. I had all intentions to say Camilla. I had no ties to Camilla at the end of the day, whether Malin was working with her or not. I had absolutely no ties to Camilla. I never even had a conversation with her. And even after saying Michaela, which I knew I fucked up there, I think I was just more so stuck on the fact that I really just said my number one's name. And that wasn't easy. And I couldn't even believe that I did it to begin with. Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, I didn't expect to do it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't supposed to be Michaela. And I even walked up to Camilla after and I told her, like, you were supposed to be the one that I was supposed to say.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to say that because then I could have put a target on my back with her, you know, and still have the target on my back with Michaela. But at the end of the day, Camilla really was supposed to be my vote. I did have all intentions to say Camilla, but when I got in there and then after I said CT's name or me, whatever had happened, Jay West had my mind going. When Clay had asked me for girls, I should have said, like, Camilla. Instead, I said, I don't care because it was just a rough deliberation.
Yeah. So then that kind of leads me to my next question for you. I can't be the only one who thought that you're gonna put up more of a fight when it came to protecting CT, especially knowing that you guys have been each other's number one since last season. So was this like a move to prove that you're gonna be loyal to Clay?
No.
Or, okay. So
No.
what was the strategy behind?
Or
like why did
I was hurt because CT was, popping at his gums, and I thought that he was like aiming it at me too, because like he had said, day one when I gave Clay a relic, because Clay was the only guy really standing there that I did actually fuck with in that sense. And I had a history with and a bunch of other things. Of course, like I gave him a relic because I did genuinely want to work with him. That was my show in grace. Like, Clay, I want to work with you. Throwing in my number one was not a Clay, I really want to work with you. Clay knew, like, like I did want to work with him from day one since giving him the relic. But like CT said, CT did text me that night, like, you really gave Clay a relic. And I was like, I know he's not starting this fucking shit. Like, I just had a long day. Like, CT, please. But he did it. And so when he was sitting there, rah, 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 I was like, does he not like have faith that I wouldn't throw him in? Like, what is going on? Like, I was questioning. My feelings were hurt, as well as I know I hurt his feelings, like, extremely bad. And the other thing was, I need Jay West to go home. And I hope that CT could get it done, because I'm looking at the cast and there's not many people that can. CT is one of those people that says what he's doing, goes in and does it. So, and I thought by maybe blindsiding him, it was so shitty. By maybe blindsiding him, that would amp him up for if it was physical. To just go in, do what he had to do, and come out. And take the last fly away.
CT, this one's for you. So, I mean, I think it's obvious that you guys don't have bad blood, you and Kristen.
Right. That's my girl. I love her.
So, do you think that
likewise
sending you in made sense?
No. And I always tell her that. It didn't, but like, I guess I get where she's coming from. Like, she was more so thinking like, oh, I need him amped up, get the job done. And like, I get that. So that's why I was like, okay, like, I see where you're coming from. But one, like, I was blindsided. You're not going to scare me, Kristen, in that deliberation room. And I didn't get that. Like, and I know Kristen. We did a whole season, ran a whole final together. I know her. And when she was putting her head down and not looking at me, I already knew what was up. So no, I don't think it was the best move, but we'll see if, I mean, like Kristen said, I'm the type of bitch who gets the job done.
Period. Clay, we're moving on to you. So it's also obvious that you and CT have a little rivalry. So we all knew you were going to say his name as soon as you got the chance, but why did you choose Michaela to go against Jay?
So this is the after show, so I'm gonna address some things really quick because that's what this is for, right? So first of all, CT likes to make this narrative that it's very one-sided, that I'm worried about him, he's not worried about me. However, if we just look back at just a few minutes ago, he did text Kristen as soon as she gave me a social relic because he was worried about me. And he also got mad about this. So just to let him know, it's not one-sided. I thought we take turns here. We talk whenever it's our turn. That's how it goes really well. So honestly, picking CT was very easy for me. I thought personally that I was going to have to put up a little bit more of a fight with Kristen. I was like, oh, this is her number one. Like, they ran last season together. They were partners. Like, all this stuff. I knew that me and Kristen did have a good relationship, but not that good. We do have history that we were not good, things like that. So I was like, oh, this is going to be really hard. But really, CT and Jay West were the only two people that, like, I thought were coming after me. So I knew that Jay West was probably going to go in with the house vote. my other job was to get CT in there. One of them has to go. So when I told Kristen, hey, I really want to throw CT in, it was a very quick answer. She said, let's see if we can get it to be the House vote, but if not, we'll throw him in. So it was very quick, so I didn't have to fight that hard for it. And then for the girls, I honestly don't remember how it happened.
Looked down and saw Michaela and was like, Michaela.
Yeah. At one point, I know me and Kristen were like trying to do letters with our hands under the the window. We really didn't know who we were doing for the girls. And I was like doing an M or a C. Like we didn't know what we were doing. And I remember that part, but I don't remember like how we ended up on Michaela. I really don't. I didn't have a relationship with Michaela at all. We hadn't, I don't think we talked at all that entire day 1 or 2. So for me, it wasn't a problem, but I don't remember how it happened, to be honest.
Can I say something?
You can say something.
Okay, I just want to say I was, and I stand on it. I was never worried about Clay. You saw first season, never was worried about Clay, but he's trying to conduct, make up blind sides to get CT out. Didn't work. Cool. First episode, the water challenge. Oh wait, I'm talking. 1 second.
But if you're gonna lie, then I'm gonna fix it.
First challenge, the water challenge. He specifically wanted to go against the baddest, CT, because he wanted to beat me. Lost again. Boo. He finally got an ounce of power and he wanted to vote me in. Cool. But don't make it seem like I'm targeting you, because I had lots of power last season. You never came up in my head. I could have easily voted you in. Could I not? Right. This season I didn't get any power, but I'm not scheming to get you out. You notice how Tello is in the redemption house? You notice how Jay West or Kevin, you notice how Jay West has been the target? You notice how Jalen was the target? I'm not worried about Clay, baby. You're not a competitor that I need to worry about.
Okay, well, we're all clear because that changes day to day. One day I'm not a competitor, the next day I'm a competitor. So
no, you're not a competitor. No, you're a good competitor.
You're very wishy-washy. I guess it depends on what character.
But you're not a competitor.
One day you'll be yourself, and we'll all wait to see that.
I'm real as fuck.
Every other day.
I'm real as fuck. I said you are a good competitor. You are a good competitor. I'm a great competitor, though. I'm not worried about you.
Okay.
Because let's be real. Out of all of your seasons, you haven't done half. You just won your first daily this season, right?
No, it's not right. And I know you know that.
How many dailies have you won?
All the seasons. You're a fan, so I know you watch the seasons, and I won a daily my first go around.
Oh, congrats! Your first season, and then you finally got one after your fourth. Good job.
Yeah, it was an individual game too.
I win my eliminations too. So, and I'm part of one of the biggest move in Caucus Challenge history. So you're a good competitor, but I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you.
Kevin's move that you followed along. That's good.
Next question. What was the next question, Felicity? My bad.
So I have a question. I was wondering, like, when did the rivalry start? Was it like
in his head? When I appeared on the scene, there was a rivalry. Like I mean,
that's actually kind of true because he like appeared there and he was really, really annoying, and I let him know it. I literally told him, "You're really annoying to me," and he didn't like it. And that was I
didn't give a fuck. And I have clips. You said I was really annoying, but you were asking me to get you coffee. We were turning up in the clubs. We were taking shots together. We were turning the fuck up in the club, taking pictures, baby. But I'm annoying. That's weird. But no,
yeah, give me stuff. Like that doesn't prove anything. Yeah, go give me a coffee. Go give me a drink. Thank you. Like, as you should. You watch me.
Wait, what do you mean as I should?
You should.
What do you mean as I should?
Give me stuff. You should give me stuff.
Bitch, bye. Next
you know who I am. You came on knowing me, not me knowing you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Just to say that I'm excited to see how the elimination goes on the next episode. And now we're going to get into the questions portion of our after show where viewers from our live chat and Dre Media Instagram followers can submit their questions. I'm going to go first and say, at this point in the game, do you guys know that the Redemption House is going to be making a comeback? And we'll start with Kevin because I haven't heard from him in a minute. I'm sorry, Kristen.
Yeah, I knew from the start once, like I think I said this on an after show before, but once players were eliminated and not coming back, sure there was gonna be something. I didn't know if it was happening after elimination, if they were going head to head and then one person is left standing, or if they were just gonna do one big elimination. But I knew somebody was coming back. I didn't know how many. That's about it.
But what if like Drea just changed the rules and said that none of the previous players who got out could come back to the field?
It's just a death, no resurrection. I'm sorry.
Oh. Period. Okay, Kristen, you wanted to go, so I'll let you say something.
I don't know what I was thinking about this redemption house at the time, because it was a lot. So obviously, like, we see the champs coming back in. That could have been the resurrection, like, but I feel like I did have a sense about like the House of Redemption, because obviously if you film seasons before, you see them walk off and then they sit on the bench and they watch. Nobody was watching that went home. And to answer your question, what if there was no resurrection? Like, what if the people from the house? That'd have been great. That'd have been great. Like, that probably would have been the best news all weekend. In my head, I'm thinking these people are coming back, but like they haven't been out here doing anything. Getting tired, getting drained from the sun. They're just well rested in a house on a couch.
Right.
For some, just running their gums. The only thing that's tired is their mouth. Yeah. But that's what I have to say.
And CT, what about you? I feel like you had a little bit more at stake since your best friend was at the house. So did you want them to come back?
Oh yeah, 100%. I wanted to see Ash. I want to see Ash come back. I want to see Joel come back.
Right.
Or even if it's a player like Tello, I want to see anybody come back, because I know anybody who comes back is probably gonna get sent right in. So that is one less person before me at the end of the day. And I love Ash, but there's only one winner. So if he came back, like, would I vote for my friend? No. Would I make sure he makes it to the end? Duh. I'm not unloyal, but like, I knew anybody who came back from that redemption house, everybody was gonna take a pause and be like, all right.
Yeah. They had plans, and they definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing them try to execute it. All right, Michaela, you're up. Did you know about the redemption house?
I definitely didn't know anything for sure, but I had my suspicions, and I didn't think that resurrection stopped at just the champs. I didn't know how the twist was gonna be brought in. I definitely didn't think they were like all sitting in the basement like waiting for their time. But I had an inkling that we'd be seeing some faces again, unfortunately. It's like you do all that work to like get people out, and then the last thing you want is
for them
to come back with a vendetta.
Heavy on the unfortunately.
And Clay, what about you?
Yeah, kind of the same. Like, if you've done previous seasons, you know people just like watch the rest of the season play out. So I feel like something was definitely up, but I'm not a fan of people returning after they've been eliminated. That's like the reason I got out my first season. So I'm not a fan of that. But honestly, like, I didn't really care. I thought like maybe the champs were coming back to play. You know, all the ideas were going through my head. I didn't know what was going to actually happen. Like Michaela said, like, I definitely didn't think they were sitting in the basement waiting for their chance to come back. We also didn't know how they were going to come back. So it was a lot of like unknown.
I agree. I mean, I'm kind of excited as a viewer just to see how you guys are going to handle that unknown, but we'll see. All right. So we have some questions from the Instagram. The first one is for CT. Or I guess it's more so about CT. Why is CT so mad at the guys, but not his quote unquote best friend who was his partner and should have had his back?
Was I not cussing Kristen out?
And what?
Next question.
I feel like maybe they're talking about like now.
If they're talking about now, here's the difference. Me and Kristen talk. She told me what was up, and that was that. Other
Like,
people are still trying to make excuses on why they did it, why this, that, and the other, and I don't respect the phony shit.
It's not excuses though. It's just something that you just can't understand, and I'm not gonna go back and forth.
I don't understand the excuses. Right? That's what I'm saying.
It's not an excuse. I told you in that moment, and I'm telling you up to now. It's your fault for not believing it. I don't care. Like, it's not that deep to me.
Oh,
but
no.
so
it
angry.
was bullshit. Again, you're believing your number one enemy. It was bullshit.
When it was your
to answer your question, Felicity, to answer your question that you asked me, that's how I feel about it. I just feel like other people are not taking accountability for their moves. And me and Kristen had a real conversation. We talked about it, and that was that.
Cue the waterworks again.
So that's still my bestie, my partner in crime.
Right.
It's just a game.
And the waterwork, and don't be fooled by the waterworks, babes.
It's important.
It's not off for show. I was definitely hurt at the moment, but we'll talk about the waterworks later down the season.
Right.
I feel like the important part of playing a caucus challenge is to know how to separate game from real life. Like,
exactly.
This is the Aftershow.
And Kristen doesn't talk shit like some of these Jersey rats do.
No, but you do. And we start back.
And I back it up.
Get mad. You just get mad. You're just mad.
I'm not mad.
I was about to say, are you from Jersey? Because you're the biggest shit talker there is.
Oh, well, I am.
You are.
I stand on everything I do, but okay.
All your beef.
But next question, Felicity. What's the next question from the Instagram?
You're bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm a badass bitch. I'm not bitter, babe.
Bitter.
White, dig, all of that. So
Kevin, I kind of want to hear what you were saying because you were cutting off a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's the connection or the rain or something like that. But what were you saying?
Well, he's just bitter. That's all it is. He's a bitter ass bitch.
Okay, Kevin. Next one's for you. Who is your number one, Oscar or CT?
I said this before. I can share number one as far as like we can go to that final four together, maybe final three. Like that moment of the ring toss before that information was said about CT, it was definitely Oscar, CT, and Clay. Those three I can hold to the top of like I can go to the final with you three. The three.
Okay, so it was Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. I told Oscar from the very beginning I wanted to go to the end with him. Like,
so that further proves my point on some of the things I'm talking about. But
you act like you didn't have another number one from the beginning of the game.
I didn't, Kevin. You were my number one. I made that very clear.
Oh, he was.
Who was my number one guy then?
Ash.
Ash was my. You were my number one guy. Ash wasn't even in the group chat that we were pre-gaming in.
Because he was an alternate until the fucking first second.
But we had already, what y'all don't know, Dre had already told us he was on.
Okay, well, regardless.
Okay, then. Oh, exactly.
Live with dude. He's obviously.
You were my number one guy. Stupid. You were my number one guy, 100%.
With somebody, they're gonna be my number one. Like,
and I showed that. But okay.
Yeah, but okay. You live with.
You're just proving my point. You're just proving my point.
Yeah, that I had a roommate. I saved Oscar. You had a roommate. You saved Ash. They were number ones. Mine out loud yours, and yeah, he was my number one at that point.
That's cool.
You're just
okay. So then my question is, since we're on the ring toss, I know Ash was my number one ally, but Ash has been out the game, so I didn't have that. So now what are we talking about?
All this anger.
Now, why is Ash even a factor? Because like y'all said, Ash wasn't in the game long enough.
This is the disconnection I have. This dude is just talking.
No, I'm reading you for your film.
He loves to hear himself talk. That's all it is. The whole time you're mad at me over saying your name over a daily challenge when your number one said your name for elimination. And at the end of the day, if you really care that much, respect.
No, my number one was you and Kristen. And I was mad at Kristen, but it would have never been a thing if you had won that daily instead of handing it to Clay.
Like, did y'all miss the screaming match we had in the living room? Because
that's what I'm saying. All of that would have changed if you would have kept your loyalty, Kevin. You and Kristen probably would have won that daily, and Jalen would have been your vote. Or simple as that. But instead, you probably masterminded a plan, got Clay the win, And
I took that win. I took that win myself. Thank you.
like I said, they play to win, and
No,
it was
I
like
made the
that.
rings. You should have tried to make them. You're supposed to actually put them
I was
on the
trying, and
phone,
like I said, I
but
was
you
bad
didn't
at
do
that
that about that.
competition. I was horrible
Yeah,
at
I
that
wasn't.
competition.
I wasn't bad at
Hey,
it though.
blame
So
Okay, that's
I
cool.
took that win.
blame
Okay.
yourself. You should have won that, but you're just mad at not
Oh,
playing your game. I'm not
I
gonna.
am definitely playing my game.
You're mad that me and Kristen are not playing your game. We're not gonna go
I didn't. I'm literally in
to
the
lose
same
on the clock.
alliance. We're playing the same game.
We're
You're the
not.
one who came to me and
We're not.
said, "Let's get Jalen out because he's such a snake. He's such a manipulator." You're giving me all of these examples of how he manipulated. How am I not? You're right. Maybe I was
One,
playing. You're right. Actually, I was playing your game. I was playing your game. Actually, you're right. Maybe I wasn't playing my own game. I was playing your
you
game,
were the one
but
that
you manipulated me
chat.
into
Started
playing. So
chats.
you're right. You're right, Kev.
You started the pre-gaming. You started the group chats. You started the let's go against
Because
Jalen.
that's what
You just
we agreed
Pre-gaming is
on.
weak.
That's what
we
we agreed on.
right. We agreed on one common enemy, Jalen, not Clay, not Oscar, not Ozzy, not nobody
Not
else.
CT.
Okay, and what? I wasn't coming at you. I didn't go for elimination.
Okay. Felicity, I'm done. What's the next question?
Thank God.
Thank God.
Kevin, are you done?
I'm done. He's not gonna understand. It's not my job to make him understand. He doesn't need to.
Oh, here comes the waterworks.
You can talk if you want a little bit more on this.
Right, literally, you can talk. I can
You're the
mute my mic.
crybaby. I don't care to talk.
Okay, then. He doesn't want to talk, Felicity.
Okay. So, Michaela.
I just gotta say one thing. There are no friends in this game. I think from previous seasons and even this season, more importantly, like Kristen throwing CT in is just the perfect example. Everyone solidify it in your brains right now. There are no friends in this game. But to remember, I just think it's weird. Like outside of the game, it's like not for all that. Like it's a game at the end of the day. Did I like what Kristen did to me? No. I think everyone who watched the episode last night saw that I was pissed the fuck off. Am I out here like beefing with Kristen every day, like swinging on her every chance I get? We're not going back and forth. Like it's literally
That's because
not
Kristen
that
doesn't talk shit, though. Kristen
Bro,
doesn't
you
talk
started
shit.
your Instagram stories. What are you talking about? You're the first one.
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
Like, calm down.
But like, you act like you don't have people, y'all don't go in group chats and shit like that. But when other people do it, y'all want to sit here and be like, this is not the time and place. Fuck out of here. It's
You're
always going to be the time and place. I'll
group
stay on your neck if you keep talking shit.
You're in every group chat. What are you talking about?
Okay, because I'm standing on the shit. Every time y'all talk shit in the group chat, I'm on that. But when we get on the FaceTime calls, it's mute. It's I don't have a problem with you. I don't have a problem with you. But the next day, we're all types of clowns and shit.
Because you keep saying my name and you're not bothered by a gameplay decision. Like it's really
And no, you're the one who's mad about the game. You're mad because I'm telling people that you're a manipulator.
You're hurt.
I'm not hurt.
You say this every day. My name is literally tattooed to your fucking tongue, CT. Like, come on.
Mine have 4 tattoos.
Yo, like.
All right, Michaela. The next question is for you. 1 second. You said that Kristen is a snake and a loser. Do you stand by that?
I mean, I think I was just mad, you know. I definitely feel like I'm the type of person who can get very worked up. Like I feel my feelings to the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I do that, I'm pretty much set. So I was pissed. Like I did not, just because like I was just so, I think if Kristen never would have said to me in my face, like, oh, Camilla's going in, I wouldn't have been as mad. Mm-hmm. That was the only part. I would have respected that call a lot more and I wouldn't have felt as blindsided. Mm-hmm. It was really just that aspect that had me like, that's fake as fuck. Mm-hmm. And honestly, from the point of her saying my name to the point of that footage, we had no communication. There was no understanding. Like, to me, like, okay, this girl was plotting on me and just, like, wanted to throw me off. Like, I don't know. Because another thing that threw me off was, like, Malin said my name in that deliberation. which I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, I didn't feel a type of way about that. I didn't know why she was saying my name. I thought maybe it was like a burn vote or whatever. But then hearing now, like, Kristen and Malin were aligned, I don't know, like, it is what it is at the end of the day. But it's a game. I'm not going to sit here and do what like, these grown men are doing right now. I'm not going to do that with Kristen. Like, it's literally a game. Like, she did what she did. I felt how I felt. But honestly, at the end of the day, I wouldn't change anything. Everything happened, I think, the way it was supposed to. So
that's amazing.
It's all good.
Yeah. So, next
And
question.
Michaela, I am genuinely sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Why can CT and Kristen make up, but not CT and Kevin? Because me and CT had a mature conversation, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It's a game.
An honest
like,
conversation.
It's a game.
It is a game. That's why we don't have beef. So everybody trying to make it seem like, oh, I just don't want to understand. No, I do understand. But at the end of the day, I'm the type of person, I'm not going to sit here and let anybody play in my face. Like, if you did what you did, I respect it if it helped you at the end of the day. Like Michaela and Kristen said, it's a game. Everybody's going to get lied to. Everybody's going to get backstabbed. All of that.
At the end of the day, I owned up to my shit.
But that's my thing. Own up to it.
I owned up to my shit. I did it knowing very well that if CT and Michaela do somehow come back, there's going to be a target on my back. Very simple. If Michaela wanted to come for me, if she comes back and Michaela wants to come for me, Michaela has all right to. Get your look back, right? That's what everybody says. Get your look back. Get your look back. It's very simple. If we play another season in the future and she wants to come for me, get your look back. I did you dirty at the end of the day. Like, I did what I did. It wasn't right. I understand that I fucked up. I took accountability for my fuck up. Same goes with CT. Would I ever say his name ever again? No. It was not a good feeling. It was not a good feeling. But at the end of the day, to me, if CT comes back, that's better for me to have CT on my back than to hear another episode or another day of Jay West and his mouth. That's the point that I was at. Like, it had nothing to do with me giving Clay what he wanted. It had nothing to do with, oh, I just wanted to snake CT because he's my number one. No. I have faith that my number one can go in, take him out, and come back. Should I have ever put him in that situation? No. Because if he doesn't come back, that is on me. You know what I mean? And if he does come back, it's still on me. If he decides to come for me, he can come for me. We play another season together and he wants to come for me, he can come for me. But at the end of the day, it's a game. I'm not going to sit here and go at Michaela because she called me a loser. Like, I'm not going to do it. For what? It's a game. Outside of the game, I don't have any personal issues with Michaela. It's a game. CT, that's still my bestie. That's still my partner in crime. That's still my ride or die. Did I do him dirty? Yes. Like, it is what it is. It is a game. And no, there really isn't any friendships in this game. Like, if we didn't see that from Worlds Collide,
it didn't start with me.
It didn't start with me. I just took note.
I think that's like a little bit of like and Kristen, I love you, but if you want to like get mad, you can get mad. But I think that's a little bit of a premeditated answer. I think more than you think CT can take out Jay West, I think more it was the way that he was treating you because you were really pissed off about that because of the text.
And it was, and I said that in my confessional. And I said that in my confessional. It was about the way he was treating me as well. But again, that was all a miscommunication because I was taking his anger towards Kevin being directed at me because we didn't have a conversation. From that field to the deliberation house, me and CT didn't have a conversation besides the one like you see where I'm like, well, like you have your problems with Clay, like that's you and Clay, like that doesn't have anything to do with me, like you know what I mean, like that's we didn't have a conversation other than that. So yeah, I was mad that I took CT's anger towards me instead of with Kevin because honestly I wasn't even really paying attention to their ring toss. I was still winded from mine. Like it was a lot of running. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even keep what had happened until I watched it back yesterday. There's so much that you miss even when you're there. So yeah, I definitely was upset with CT. That also did have a factor to play, which I said in my confessional. I threw him in for 2 reasons. I felt like he didn't have faith in me. So if you didn't have faith in me, then you know what I mean. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I should have showed you the faith. You know, I probably should have showed you the faith. But again, I need Jay West to go home, and I hope he can do that.
And then secondly, like, this is for you and Michaela. Like, right now you're both kind of like, oh, I would never do this. I would never go back and forth. I would never argue. But you both have. So, you know, as easy as to say right now, because you're not arguing with these people that are here.
I've never argued with Kristen.
No, he means like with other
Kristen,
people. And it's right. It's true. We both have, but that's when we argue with people that we don't really have a respect for them. I have a mutual respect for Michaela. I feel like Michaela has a mutual respect for me. That plays a big factor.
I wasn't talking about y'all two.
Oh,
I was talking not y'all two together. I'm talking about.
Oh no, yeah,
you two
I
individually, like you both. Like I feel like right now you're kind of like, oh, I would never do that. That these grown ass men are doing. Like you have done it, and I'm sure it will happen again.
I know I've done it.
I think for different reasons though. It's not about like I'm speaking about okay, like Kristen threw X's on me or whatever. Jay said my name in deliberation, like, or Malin said my name in deliberation. Like, I'm not ever gonna like fix my mouth to real life beef with someone over something like that. I've argued with Tello, I've argued with Jay West for the simple fact that like it's just straight up disrespect, not even regarding the game. So yeah, I'm 100% gonna like defend myself and bite back, like bark back. But I think like to really carry on like serious beef day in and day out over like over gameplay is different. But that's just
I'm just saying like I don't like a lot of my arguments. Most of my arguments, I think I'm very good at separating game and personal.
Yeah.
And like I've been that way for all 3 seasons. Like I don't argue over anything besides personal stuff. Like game stuff is game stuff. Like I said, in my first season I was hated. Like everybody hated me. I had to fight every single round. Yeah, you were a bitch. But I feel like I'm very good at that. So just like for me, like, and maybe you weren't talking about me, but I feel like you were. And I just want to say like I'm really good about separating the two, and I don't argue over game. Like I genuinely do not like CT. Like I don't like him as a person. He actually really gets my nerves. And then
other people talking about me. See, this is my point. You weren't even talking about me.
You're the person I was arguing with. I wasn't arguing with anybody else here, idiot. And then
I'm not an idiot. You can finish what you have to say, but you're not about to disrespect me.
Everything I've argued with is like not game related. I'll disrespect you every single day.
Okay, well, don't. Well, don't.
I will. I will continue to do it. I will do it every day.
Okay, and that's my point. There we go.
I will say, Clay, like that comment that I made wasn't like directly aimed at you. I personally do think that like you don't push it to the absolute extreme. But again, I'm not even here to critique how y'all argue. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying like it gets real serious real freaking quick when it comes to like the arguments. And I just think it's crazy. I just think like personally it's not really like worth like all the energy that's put into like going back and forth over like who threw me in 9 months ago. Like
it's not about that though, Michaela, and that's what you're missing.
No, I also get your point.
Yeah,
it's about
like I just want to clarify. It's not about him. My thing. I'm mad because me, Kevin, and Jalen, we did a whole season and fucked shit up.
I get that too.
It's the loyalty.
I get that 100%. I get that part. I do, because I'm the same way. Like I appreciate and respect loyalty a lot. So that means a lot to me. So I get why you feel the way you feel. But like I just don't like I fuck with you, CT, and I fuck with you, Kevin. And I hate to see you guys on this live right now, like literally arguing, coming for each other, and like just getting nasty with each other. Like I hate to see it, and I wish that there was a way outside of the game. Like y'all made the moves you did. Kevin did what he did. You did what you did. Whatever.
I didn't do anything. That's my thing, though. I didn't do anything.
You were loyal. You were loyal.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's what you did. So you played your game how you wanted to. Kevin played his game how he wanted to, and that's just what it is.
And I respect that. Like, I'm not trying to say like I don't. My thing, I think Kevin's a good competitor. I think he played well this season. I think he did his big one or whatever. But my thing is, I just wish that he'll take accountability for his move. That's my only problem, because I don't have a problem that he did what he needed to do to make it far in the game where there's only one winner. Everybody was gonna have to get to that point at some point of the game. My thing is, if I'm your number one guy, there could have been a conversation, something about how you feel, because you never told me, oh, I don't trust you, because I would have showed you. I would have told you, bro, there's nothing that you have to worry about. I got you. What do you need me to say somebody's name in this deliberation? I got you.
DT,
I would have done that easy.
We had that conversation though. Remember, it was like me, you, and then Ozzy started talking. But I told you, Jalen was telling this information. You were like, "It's not true. Why would you believe him?" At the end of the day, I was still having my second guesses, but I don't know.
Paranoia, and you can't blame that on me though. Like, that's not fair.
But I also couldn't understand why you would even say my name in the first place.
And then,
hold on, because you just told me today or yesterday that you meant to tell me that you said my name in the hotel, but live when it was happening, you were like, "Don't believe that. That's not true." So what is it? You know?
Because what he was telling you, I told Jalen just to keep him comfortable.
I guess
Jalen is a powerhouse, a well-rounded player, up here and physically. You have to play the game at all times. So if he's talking about, he's trying to get my number one ally out, would I be down to flip? I'm going to get all the tea. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you.
I respect that. Thank you. But that just didn't execute properly. Because nowhere did we talk beforehand saying, "Hey, I'm going to make it look like I'm trying to get you, but don't believe it if Jalen gets back to you." It was never said like that. So since he came up to...
that was a hotel. I didn't know. It didn't play a part.
But why believe... Question for Kevin. Why believe the person who you were gunning for the hardest?
Because you just heard everybody. Like, we had a plan to work with each other in that game and get out the rookies or whatever, but that just wasn't getting executed. In that moment, I went for Jalen, but I was also in the back of my mind thinking what he said about CT. I'm like, I'd rather him not win. It wasn't, I'm gonna put you in jeopardy on a personal level or get you out on a personal level or nothing like that. It was just, I don't trust you winning this round. That's all it was. I needed to get more facts straight.
And you don't trust me because of something your number one enemy, that you're trying to get out of the game told you. That's what's blowing me.
I will just say,
you took your number one targets, the person that you called a liar, a manipulator, somebody you know can place these seeds of doubt in your head. You took what he said over your number one ally who showed nothing but loyalty, ran a whole season with you and made a history together. Did we not?
Look, you weren't there for obviously a lot of the conversations that me and Jalen were having. He could have been trying to fuck with me the entire time, but he was trying to make it seem like I am good with you. Just don't fuck me over again. So in my head, I'm thinking the ball's always going to be in my court because he thinks as long as you don't fuck me over, I won't fuck you over. And whether that be true or not,
over twice.
I know. And whether that be true or not, he was still continuing it at the ring time, at the next challenge, he was still continuing that. So if I'm in my head thinking I fucked you over, you're okay with it, then let me just take what I can with the information that you're giving me, because why would you give me information I need to know and also try and get me out? You know, like, so when he started coming at me on the ring toss, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to trust you anymore. I'm going to get you out. And then I didn't trust you. I'm going to get you out. It was never on a personal level. And I feel like you just couldn't understand that. You don't want to understand what I'm saying.
Because you're not okay. Yeah, hearing that my number one guy ally doesn't trust me, that does make me feel some type of way. And then to see you show that you don't trust me, when in my head I've shown nothing but loyalty, even was trying to spread the blood. There's scenes that didn't get shown in the episode, but there was a point where I was talking to you and Camilla. I was like, why are you trying to get all the blood in your hands? Why don't you divide the blood amongst us so you can have an easy ride? I was doing shit like that. But okay, I'm trying to get you out though. I would have never helped you as much if I was trying to get you out. I'm just gonna say that. So that's why I keep saying like your excuses. It's just like, it's just like it doesn't make any sense to me. But at the end of the day, I hear you. It doesn't make any sense, but I hear you.
And that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense. Maybe, and like I keep saying, maybe it was the wrong call. But
It was. You're just
okay,
trying to make up for it. I'm
maybe
just waiting for the
it was
next question.
not me like not owning up to it. I'm literally explaining to you how it happened in my head, and I'm not making excuses for it. I'm like I might be wrong for it. It was the wrong call, but at the end of the day, it didn't hurt me. You coming after that just kind of was a bad social play. Like you didn't have to. You just had to go talk to Kristen and make sure that Clay wasn't saying your name, and you would have been fine with both me and you. Not telling me that Jalen was saying my name was a strategy flaw for your game, because you should have told me that first. Instead, he told me.
Right, because like you said, I may have not had as many conversations as you and Jalen. I wasn't talking to Jalen the whole trip. I was trying to avoid him. But okay, what's the next question?
So I actually want to clarify with Kevin. I had it on my the screen, but do you guys see you ever being in good graces again?
I think I've lost a lot of respect for CT, not as a person, but as a player and just a personality. But in no way, shape, or form do I think he's not like hilarious at times or funny or cool or whatever. Like he's not a bad, shitty person. I just think his mouth is, and that's it. You know, like have I thought like he smokes? You know, can I smoke with him? Probably. But do we talk a lot of shit to each other? Could it end up in blows? Probably. I don't. I react based off of given. I reciprocate the energy. So if he's talking about me on Instagram, I'm gonna turn it up in the group chat because I don't need to put it on social media. Maybe I shouldn't even say it in the group chats.
You started the social media. You had your little sister or whatever making edits and shit.
I didn't make her do anything.
Okay, well, you need to check your siblings, and that's why I got it started. You have your sisters, and who haven't. I don't even know if they talking shit and shit. So like,
you've had a small little animosity towards me
after you fucked me over, but
and you little tidbits that you want to throw in, I do take personally sometimes, whether it be about me or not. I'm like, he could very well be talking about me, and sometimes I just want to hold my ground. That's
so you if the shoe fits, I get what you're saying. The shoe was fitting.
Yeah, talk a lot.
I don't know, Kevin. I don't have a problem with Kevin for real. I just don't like people who don't stand on what they say they're gonna do. That's my issue, game and personal. But I don't have a problem with the man. I'm not gonna say there's no way we're not gonna be in good graces again, because like I'm a cordial person. I'm a friendly person at the end of the day, and I'm not a hater. So, but I don't know. It's really up to everybody and their energy. Like, we'll see after the reunion, I guess.
Well, yeah, I hope that you guys find a way to stand to be in the same room together by the time the reunion comes.
I can be in the same room as Kevin. I'm not worried about.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Clay, where are you?
Sorry, I have to go. I just got to my volleyball game.
Oh, period. Okay.
Bye. Good
But
luck.
thank you for listening for hosting this.
Of course. Thank you, Clay, for your time.
Good luck handing out the water and all of that.
If you have something to say, go ahead and text it to me because I can't hear you. Thank you.
Gosh. Okay, Clay. So the next one was for Michaela. Will we see you on more seasons to come? You bring good drama and are a strong competitor.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I guess you're just gonna have to stick around and find out.
Give the people what they want, Michaela. Come on.
Okay, fine. I'll be back.
Yes, thank you. All right. The next one was for Kevin. Would you take but the CT move if you could?
Yeah, hashtag Team CT period. Check the weather. Love you.
I'm not sure what the question is phrased.
Would you take back the CT move if you could?
Oh, thank you for the translation.
It's okay. I read students writing all the time.
Oh my God. Okay, so would you take it back, Kevin?
Right. Question for Kevin. I would take it back in the sense of it did look like, I fell through with Jalen's lie, and it probably wasn't the game move that I needed to make, because in reality, if CT did win, I probably was okay with him. But at the end of the day, my mind was racing. I didn't know if I was, but now that I know, yeah, I could take.
Aw, I love that.
That day was crazy. It was hot outside, like all that running.
Yeah.
Honestly, I get it from all standpoints. Like,
His day
right up there.
is cutthroat. Everybody's mind is racing.
Yeah.
You don't want to get you.
Yeah.
That whole, like, from ring toss and beyond, I think it was just like crazy. I don't think everyone was in their right state of mind. Honestly,
or mentally.
Yeah, it was like 100 degrees. We were running that ring toss. Like, people only see like a short,
like 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, but no, we were
out there for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was like
45 wow.
Sweating, no water.
Right.
Just dying.
45 minutes.
I think
it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, the guys' heat definitely looked like it moved a bit faster, but also you have to give it to the girls. They did that. Like, I looked at that challenge and I was like, I would literally die.
We tried.
Like, long run or short run, I was done for.
Yeah. I don't even think it was the getting the rings. I think it was the missing the rings, having to run back, get it, like, back down. It was that part.
I think I would throw up. I'd be kicking, screaming, and throwing up right there by the cones. That bench that was in the middle, I just would have been laying down.
Felicity, I would pat your back here and there, but I'd still have to get that ring in.
Yeah, she'd be like, yeah, Felicity, you're out. Okay, so the next one's for all of you guys. Who would you most likely want to be partnered with in future seasons from this season? We'll start with CT.
Obviously, y'all know I'm about to say Kristen, like, duh. But to give the viewers something besides Kristen, because that's like an obvious, I would honestly have to say Michaela, because hopefully you'll see later on, and that's if she'll have me. No, but you like, I throughout the game, like, me and Michaela, and I had just met her that week. We worked really well together. Even when we didn't disagree, it wasn't like a whole it was more so of a how can we meet in the middle type of situation where it could benefit both of us. So that's what I appreciated about it.
Kevin.
So I'll pick a Michaela.
I don't know. I feel like it would have to depend on what the theme is, because I feel like if it's like a ride or die season, it would have to be Amanda. But we would probably be too much of like a target being partnered together, so it would probably be like Michaela or maybe somebody like that.
Wow, Michaela, very popular.
It's funny because if I had to like pick a partner, a guy partner, it would be CT or Kevin, honestly. And that's why I hate to see the beef. Like, I love both of you guys, and I think this season definitely Kevin, I mean CT, we did work very well together. Like, in the moments of collaboration between the two of us, I think we were on the same page, and I think CT showed a lot of loyalty, you know, like, if we ever discussed, like, if he asked me, like, who are we saying, like, and I said a name, and he stuck with that, you know, he's like, okay, bet, like, let's do that. And I think he showed, like, he can stick to his word, and I really do appreciate loyalty, especially in a game that can be so, like, snaky and cutthroat. And with Kevin, I think, you know, throughout the season thus far that the viewers have seen, and the rest of his time on this season, he shows that he's a true competitor, and he really does make the moves that need to be made to get far. I think he's also very strong, and either of them I would love to work with.
Love that.
Something also, if I can mention, me and Michaela did work together. It kind of sucks to like repeat it, but with the last episode when Lauren got out, I couldn't say Lauren's name because it felt like Lauren was gonna take it personal. So I was like, "Yo, Michaela, please try and get the vote for Lauren or something because I can't say her." So trying to get her into the elimination. Please just make it for deliberation.
Yeah.
And she like kind of, I know there was like the small narrative of her like telling Jalen in the first challenge and me not having that trust for her, but we did like a good conversation later on that day, thanks to Amanda. And we were just like, no, like we could overpower that and just work together. So I think me with Michaela, I was like, yo, she's a trooper for sure too.
And that's actually something I haven't gotten to speak on. I don't think I was on the after show for that, but that whole thing with Kevin and Jalen, when Jalen approached me wanting to work with me and Kevin, my perspective was I didn't know either of them, and I just knew that I wanted to come into the game and play a loyal, honest game. Like, I'm very much like, if I'm gunning for you, you're gonna know. Like, I don't have to pull any snake shit because I'm just gonna let you know right now and I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
And I think I just was so off put with Kevin approaching me like, listen, basically, let's just say Jalen, and I was just like, I'm not gonna start on a bad foot. You know what I mean? I already gave Jalen my word, and I wanted to stand on that. So it wasn't not anything personal by any means. I wasn't drawing a line in the sand or picking sides, and I think that threw Kevin off. But like he said, we did have a good conversation, and I think he like understood where I was coming from, so we were able to like move forward from that.
I'm glad. And then Kristen, you're the last one to answer this question. Who would you most likely want to be partnered with in future seasons from this season?
We all have seen me and CT on Worlds Collide. We get shit done. Not all the way done that season. But also Jalen. Like Jalen, I don't know, something about me and him I feel like would be really good. Either way, I think we'd still be a target. Same as me and CT, we would still be a target if we were together. Me and Jalen would be a target if we were together. So, I think I could be with a rookie and I'd still be a target, to be honest.
So that should be like flattering,
right? Yeah.
So the next
pretty
one
intimidating or whatever
is, do you guys want an OGs versus new generation season? I already know my answer to this, but I would love to hear yours. Kevin?
I think it would be sick, a nice concept. I hope the rookies for the new generation could or would it be like new gen as in the last couple seasons, or what does that mean exactly?
I think so. That's how I'm perceiving it. Like people from the first few seasons of the Caucus Challenge versus like the newest rookies, I guess.
Okay, so like would me, CT, Chris?
Yeah, you guys would essentially be like the new generation.
Oh, new generation.
And then like old generation would be like Amanda, Michaela, JT.
That'd be sick.
I feel like it'd be really cool.
Yeah, all-star kind of cast. So
yeah,
see how that plays out if it ever happens. But I think it would be fun and interesting.
Let's manifest it, guys. Michaela, how would you feel about that? Seeing old faces come back.
I definitely think it would be super fun, and it would definitely be entertaining for sure. But I don't know, it's not my ideal season just because like I feel like I've come to love a lot of new generation players. So would I want to work with them or against them, but it's something I'm definitely open to. I think it definitely would be really fun and interesting.
And what about you, Kristen and CT?
OGs versus new generation. New generation would have that hands down because all the OGs have beef in this game right now. So we would all flip on each other before we would unite and go against the new generation. So I think that we would all do the new generation's work for them, and they'd have a really easy ride because we'd be taking each other out.
Period. And CT, what about you?
I think that would be an interesting season, but I have to agree with Michaela. I don't know if that's necessarily my ideal season. I feel like, well, maybe depending on how the plot, because like the OGs, and no shade to anyone, but those challenges are different compared to
your challenges now.
The challenges now. So I don't know, like maybe if the OGs were paired with the new generation, then maybe. But if it's straight out like OGs versus new generation, I don't even think you guys want to see that.
Right. Okay. The next one from our YouTube live audience is, who at this point is your number one?
Me.
Right.
No,
you're your own number one?
No, I would say at this point, my number one is Michaela. She's been the only one who has shown loyalty. Love you, Kristen, but has showed loyalty. We've been on the same page, and especially after the fact is, not only have we been working together well, but we also both got blindsided together. So it'd kind of be dumb for me not to be like, Michaela, let's just run this thing out real quick.
Right.
And she's a great competitor, so. And I think she's made it to 3 finals or something like that. So
I think yeah, at this point for guys, definitely CT was my number one, just because I felt like we were in the trenches together. Like at that point we were like, we looked at each other and we were like, let's just get it done. Like, let's do this. Like, we're doing this shit. So we definitely bonded throughout the season. So for guys, it was definitely CT, just because I was like, damn, like, we gotta come back and we gotta eat it up. And for girls, Amanda, she's really like the one I can say, like, I was never gonna say her name. I was never gonna throw her under the bus at any point. I was always gonna do everything to protect her, and I know she had my back in that same way. So yeah, girls, Amanda, guys, CT.
And Kevin?
Well, not CT anymore. That went down the drain. But I'd probably have to say Oscar, and always gonna be probably Amanda. She's just one person I always wanted to see win. So I would say Amanda.
And then Kristen, you're next.
I don't have a number one at this point. Naylin, obviously I am working with her. But other than that, nope.
Not even me?
I'm sorry, who did you say was your number one?
Girl, you went down to number 2.
Oh, yeah, baby.
You had just said my name. I was still hot. I'm like, will she do it again? I'm scared now. I'm like, after the first time, I didn't even expect it to happen once. But like,
no,
once it happens once,
CT is still my number one. He'll forever be my number one, no matter what. So, guy wise, like, that's still gonna be still my right hand.
So we do have another one from Instagram. This one says,
Instagram is messy.
Kevin, Jay West said that you're working with him during the daily as well. Is this true?
I don't think so. I feel like that's like the one person that I thought I wasn't working with. But at the end of the day, you heard every guy. They all thought I was working with them, so it could have been true. At the end of the day, I'm trying to save my ass and win. I keep saying it. Everybody wants to win. That was the only way I was going to save my ass. You guys saw that deliberation. I was trying to.
Wait, y'all, because Jay West can be very messy, y'all. So
right. Wait, but he just said he just admitted to it. But I just want to clarify. You were saying you talked to everybody though.
Not everybody. I said I'm pretty sure Jay West was the one person I didn't talk to. I didn't even remember the conversation I had with Jalen, but apparently we had one big vet conversation. But I thought it was going to be Jalen and Jay West, the two people.
If Jay West was the one person you didn't talk to, that's basically everybody. I just want to point that out.
Okay, and why do you think I lasted that long? with
No, and that just brings my point to some of my statements. I just wanted to point that out for the viewers.
What is the issue? I have literally 2 names in my mouth all season. Like, what is the issue? Jay and Jalen, those are the 2 people that should think I'm not working with them because I said their name all season 3 times. Like, if I'm coming at everyone else, it's because that's my strategy. Like, don't feel that I'm coming at you because I'm going for these people. Like, yeah, people should feel comfortable because when I have a target, that's my target. Like, that's all it is.
So the next question is, how do you guys feel about Oscar and his gameplay?
He's killing it.
He's killing it?
In my opinion.
There was, I forget which player it was, but they were saying that he's like kind of floating. Do you guys agree
I
with
wouldn't say he's floating. I think he's just about doing what he has to do to keep going. I think there's nothing wrong. Like I always say, there's nothing better than prove yourself than going into an elimination and coming out of it. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with, not having to be in an elimination. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to go into eliminations, but I think Oscar, up until this point, has fought and worked for the position he's in. He's staying, I think, a little bit under the radar with most people. Like, let's not include Jay West, but he's also not, like, at the bottom, just barely getting by, So I don't think there's anything wrong with how he played this season.
To solve everybody's question of who said that Oscar was a floater, of course it was Jay West. He said that's why he kept getting Ozzy and Oscar confused because floaters. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's gameplay is everybody's gameplay. I don't think like any of us can sit here and be like, well, your gameplay was shitty or your gameplay was shitty. Whatever works for that person is what works for that person. There's been people that have went under the radar. Like Easy became a champ, and like he was pretty under the radar. Shayna became a champ. He was pretty under the radar. Jalen, he hasn't become a champ, but he's been under the radar. Like he's playing both sides. Like everybody has different strategies coming into this, and none of them are right and none of them are wrong. It's just whatever works for that person, I feel like.
I personally don't think I wouldn't label Oscar as a floater. I feel like a lot of times this season, just because you don't go out there and you're not running your mouth or you're not physically keeping up with people, that people see them as layups. But I think Oscar is a very social player. And winners and this is part of the revolution in the new era, winners like Shayna and Easy prove that. You don't have to be the ones necessarily making the moves. You don't have to be the ones outright physically getting people out, going into eliminations, lying, any of that. You can be behind the scenes controlling everything and do just fine. And I think that's just what Oscar's doing. And also at the end of the day, if you're aligned with the right people, you don't have to do too much.
I think Oscar played the game that I wanted to play this season. I think if Jay West didn't throw me out my character and Jay had never tackled me and showed her strength, I think I would have played a game similar to Oscar. But I think I had to assert myself more than I wanted to this season, but that's just how it goes.
Okay,
can I just add something real quick? I feel like people are still looking at that 10-year-old Oscar who is yelling at Mike and arguing with Sabina. This is a 17-year-old Oscar. He's mature and all of that. So this is a different, he's up there with the rest of us. He's not that 10-year-old competing with however old you guys were when you guys were filming these things. But
yeah, that's a really good point.
Yesterday.
What's up?
I think it's funny. He's just saying this, and he called Oscar my dog in the game yesterday.
Well, he's still your dog. That's why I said if you're aligned with the right people, then it works for you.
been playing a good game.
I mean, Scooby and Shaggy
hiding.
solved all types of mysteries.
Crickets.
They're still a team.
He
aligned with the right people.
He played a good game up to this point. He won a daily. He said for me to throw in Jalen, and he got his way. You know, like not hiding in this game. So.
Okay, guys. Last question. If you could bring someone you would 1,000% trust on the game as your partner, who would you bring? We're gonna make this one quick before we start to close it out. Go ahead, Kristen.
I'd bring my brother, like my actual blood brother. Yeah, I feel like we really fuck shit up. Not gonna lie. That would be, I guess, my ride or die, because that's pretty much what the question is. Like, that would be my ride or die, my brother.
Michaela. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I would bring my boyfriend, honestly. I feel like it's the yin to my yang. And you need the balance in this game, you know? So I think we could get far with like our opposing polar opposite personalities.
That makes sense. Would that be so he's your ride or die?
Yeah, he would be my ride or die.
I would love to see that. Okay, CT, who would you bring on?
I would probably, well, for the guy, if it were a guy, I would bring my best friend Matthew. I feel like we would get some shit. Yeah, you already know, Kristen. We would definitely get the job done without a doubt. For the girls, I would bring my best friend Claire, and we would also get the job done as well.
I love that. Bring more people on. Kevin.
I'd probably bring my brother or my best friend Wednesday.
Her name is Wednesday?
Yeah.
You're gonna bring the Wednesday? That's crazy. All right. So let's move on to the weekly drama. I do want to keep this short because we are running a little high on time. So being a part of the reality TV world and being a part of Detroit media, there's always something going on in the Detroit media world. So, Kristen, you made a comment during the live chat last night saying, rumor has it Tello is still talking in the Redemption House. Why did you say that?
Okay, because the way, the way it just like, I don't know, you just went right back to the Redemption House, and like, I just feel like Tello was still talking like from the last episode. Like he just, all he does is talk. So I was like, yeah, like rumor has it he is still in that basement talking. So if like anybody hears anything at night, don't be alarmed. It's just Tello. His soul, his soul just can't leave the basement. That's all I was saying.
All right. So the next part. So let's talk about the FaceTime and the group chat this week. What is the beef between Kevin, Clay, and CT?
I feel like Kevin and Clay like to play Captain Save-A-Ho sometimes. Like when Clay tries to get his daily fix of CT, Kevin likes to pipe in. But when other people pipe in, like, it's a problem. Like, oh, y'all don't need to be doing this, that, and the other. I don't like they're allowed to talk their shit, but when I eat them up, it's a problem. So I'm just like, it's just like, oh my God, like we get it. But like I said before, I really don't have a problem with Kevin for real. I just don't like the fact that he doesn't stand on a lot of the shit that he says. Clay's just weird. So I'm good off of him.
And then Kevin. I am sorry to the viewers that Clay had to leave, but hopefully we get a full picture from Kevin and CT.
Basically the same thing, exact same thing CT said. It's when he does it, but when we chime in or anything like that, they like to say, "Oh, you guys should say anything," but in reality, CT is puppies too, and they're always chiming in the group chat. So if I'm just defending Clay, then I'm just defending Clay because these people really do sound stupid sometimes. No, regardless, he started it off with the Instagram stories. I'm telling you, he's not in my brainwaves at all. So I'll leave it at that. But
well, perfect. Is there anything else anyone would like to touch on before we sign off?
See you guys at the reunion. It's about to be a good one.
All right.
You start talking about personal stuff, whether it be like, I'm gonna take it to the floor if you want to go low.
I don't care. You can take it to the floor or whatever. You guys don't know me. So
You
take it
don't
to
know
the
me
floor.
either.
Get on your hands and knees. I don't care.
Never.
I'm going to do what I want. Like I said, I'll see you guys at the reunion.
All right, guys. So since this is our last after show episode until the finale, what can we expect for the rest of the season? Start with Kristen.
Exactly what you've been seeing. The drama, the spiciness, the competition, the work ethic. Well, I'm not even gonna speak on that.
Yeah, no spoilers, guys.
No spoilers. I don't know. Stay tuned to see if I continue to be in my snake era or if it was just a one and done.
And Michaela?
I think it's really like if it wasn't game time before, it's game time now. Like, I think this is the point in the game where people are fighting for their lives.
And it's only going to get more emotional.
Yeah. So, yeah, stay tuned to see the grind, I guess.
All right, CT, go ahead.
I would say lots of chocolate, lots of thunder, lots of drama, lots of, like they said, fighting for your life. I think the rest of the season is really going to be about who really wants it and who really doesn't. Who's cut. So.
And then Kevin, what can we expect?
Well, y'all know I come to play every time, so I'm there literally just for the fun, the experience. No matter if I win, but it's just been the talk of the town that I'm the biggest snake and mastermind. So I think I'm really just gonna live up to that word now. So,
Thank you.
I own every mistake or move that I made, and if it made people feel any type of way, I own up to it. I know what I did, but no, you don't have to understand.
Well, I should have called you Puppet Master or like Master Manipulator.
Yes, Geppetto.
No. You are everyone's favorite ally. So
everyone.
Literally everyone's favorite ally.
Meanwhile, me and Kevin were probably allies in like the benches too. All right. So thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you follow J Media on the Instagram and subscribe. Tune in on Sunday, March 26th for the next episode of the Caucus Challenge Resurrection. And I'll see you all next time in person for the Caucus Challenge After Show finale. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Bye. Check the weather.